You should do that thing with a straight face.
Right, bit of an update video. We've not been on YouTube for best part of nearly a year. The last one we uploaded was Hamburg. So
we've been inundated, so we have with people requesting for us to do more YouTube. So we're going to get back into it a wee bit and just kind of show you what we do in our day to day, and also what we're doing today. Yeah.
So we get a lot of people saying that they're in the same position as us. We both work full time, and we're trying to obviously stay in the Elite 15 as best we can. So they're interested in how we kind of live our life switching between training, being a dad for me, and trying to run a business. So yeah, we'll kind of have to run it all the way back to, I would say, December last year, where
I just give a kind of debrief of what we've done.
Yeah, so back in November I had a wee baby girl, so my life just changed overnight, as you can imagine, for the better for sure. Absolutely. Which just in terms of like us competing meant that we couldn't do things like we did think about going to Melbourne, but it was just completely written off the cards, obviously knowing that Frankie was going to be born. So we were invited to that. We didn't go, which was fine. And then the next one was Phoenix in January. We had a really bad race there, didn't we?
We would have been better not going. It was a massive trip, that, to be fair, just for us, obviously being from the UK. It was a big trip to go over there, and big expense as well. But America's a hard place to go over and get the race right. You know what I mean? We try and go out a wee bit before, but I would a terrible race there, so we did it. We never really got going. Felt sluggish from the get go, and it was a bad experience. It was a bad experience all around, really, wasn't it?
It was a really bad race. That's the first time I've ever had a race where my mouth was actually bleeding with how dry the air was. It was just like, I think I was like 7 or 8 kilo heavier than what I am now as well. It was just a bad race. So
that should have been one that we probably just bypass as well. But obviously, if you get invited to these majors, it's you think it's a bit crazy turning them down. So you feel like you kind of have to, because you never know what might be your last one. Like, it was actually back to London the year, like just last year was how we kind of got our position in the elite job. We're doing the sub 50, so we kind of just had to take that opportunity, and we knew that would give us the scope to potentially get asked to all the majors the next season or that season, which it did. So that was a great move. But then I had the first couple, Melbourne and, as Niall said, and then Phoenix. We went to Phoenix, so we did. But yeah, you live and you learn, don't you? And we've definitely gained a lot of experience from then. Like, there's still, even our last race we done at the World Champs we changed so much up. So we did just how we started the race, how we approached it, and how we went through it. And it was the best race we've ever done, probably as a pair, isn't it? So
for sure. Yeah,
it just shows you, like, we've probably raced together maybe 10, 12 times.
Yeah.
And we're still learning on wee things and improvements, which all just comes from racing at the end of the day. You know, and it's just, you can train as hard as you want, but say if you're not racing, you just don't get that sharpness and that bond with your partner.
You've got to race all the time. So, but yeah, after that we were invited. We didn't even know, did we? But we were invited to the EMEA European Champs, where
a couple of weeks we found out.
Yeah, we found out it was just like, I think we had 2 weeks notice or something, so we headed down to London for that. That was a pretty cool experience, actually. I really enjoyed that race. That ended up being a lot better race for us. We kind of took a totally different strategy to the race, where we were like, right, we're going to hold back completely, because some of these guys like Ronk and Tim, they were in this race obviously, and they just go out like a train. It's just crazy, the pace. It was in the Olympia.
Oh, right. In London.
And we were like, we just need to just run our own race. And like our goal from the start was like, let's just hold back a bit. We decided to come into the ski last. That was our actual goal, and then we really wanted to. What?
That wasn't on purpose.
No, we did deliberately. We wanted to deliberately come into the ski last, and then our strategy was to make a move on the pool, which we actually did. I think we jumped like between 5 and 6 places.
We jumped up to like 10th, didn't we?
Yeah, we came out of there in a really good position, and then we kind of held our own all the way to the end. I think we ended up placing like 11th or something, which in that type of field is still a very good result, I would say, for how much training that we could put in between kind of Phoenix having a difficult time and then going to that in March. So that was good. And then we just had a massive build. I kind of took a step back. You know, me and John used to train together every single day. Obviously, with me having a baby, just things had to change. Like I just had to kind of work around what I could and couldn't do. So we just had a massive build all the way up to World Champs, which was in June, just a couple months back. So I just worked as hard as I could with my training, which, to be honest, it actually went really well. Biggest thing for me right now is my sleep. It took a real toll, which I didn't think at first it affected me, but now when I look back, I see how much it really did make a difference to my performance. But yeah, we worked up to June in Stockholm. Being honest with you, because of what I was going through with my sleep and things, I actually wasn't going to go. I planned on just not going at all. I thought, save the money and just not even bother going to World Champs, because I just thought I hadn't qualified in the solo, so I was just going for a doubles race. But then I changed my mind and decided, right, I'm just going to go and give it one last crack, which, to be honest, was the right decision. We had like an amazing race. We changed our strategy up a bit, starting really slow. Like we let the boys go out in front, and we gave them like a good 40-second gap. Like we basically jogged the first run, and we're just gonna build into this.
We're back level with them actually on the burpees, weren't we? Which we actually started 20 seconds after they left. So we were actually leading the race for a fair bit of it, and then they did just finish strong, but we were able to hold a position. We never really gave up any positions to anyone behind us. We did finish that race really strong, didn't we?
Yeah, no, it was.
That was probably the perfect executed race that we've done. So
yeah, no, it was a really good race, and then it just, if anything, it just puts the fire back in you to want to do it again. You know, like when I say I'd lost it a bit, it was more just with, you know, your life circumstances changing, and it's hard to focus on making sure that your training is your number one priority, because ultimately it's not anymore. But
we'd had that bit. We'd had actually, it was like a 3-month build right up to Worlds, and it was just like everything was just dialed in. The food was dialed in, the sleeping was dialed in. Well, tried to, for me anyway.
Yeah.
And then like I woke up at the same time every day, I ate at the same time every day, went to sleep at the same time every day, and it was just like it was just focus on one goal, which at the end of World Championship you're kind of glad it's over. You're like, that's kind of happy it's over, but you do need to have these sacrifices if you want to get the end result, you know. And it doesn't just happen from turning up to the gym and training. There's so many things that all play a part in getting, well, we got second there, so but no, that was a massive 3-month kind of build. So it was after it as well. It was good to have, like, it's been probably a couple of months now since we've done it, and that's been a good, like, we've been away, we've done the T100, which was in our last video, the triathlon, which was a great experience, and we've done other stuff. We've done a lot of biking, so we have kind of taken a break from hyrox, but now we've kind of got the urge now to get back in. We're planning on what we're going to do next to get ourselves back into the elite setup. So we've kind of got an idea. We've got London in December kind of marked on that, and then we've got a few other options just before that, but we're going to try and work towards kind of peaking for a few races. So like get to a peak and then race maybe 2 or 3 times within back-to-back weeks, and then potentially into next year pinpoint a date like in around February or March and try and peak for that as well, just so we can get up to a peak that we're not racing all the time and we're not actually gaining anything. So
I think that was half our problem last season. We were, especially when you're governed by what the majors are.
Last minute invite, isn't it? Like two weeks before it, you don't know if you're in or not. So we were kind of just like, what's the crack here? Whereas if you are one of the top boys and you're in the elite series, you can plan yourself around it. Really, that's why there's a lot of boys since World Champs that have done it right actually and been away. They've raced, they've got the points, they know that they're going to be in the mixer, so that then they can build towards that first major. Would be the way to do it, but we decided not to, did we? Which again might be something that comes back to bite us if we do get pushed further and further out. But I think if we can get our strategy right of when we race and where we race, we could definitely get back into it.
I think that's what everyone's looking to do now. You're seeing boys that are doing big massive blocks and then doing a cluster of races all in this like 2-3 week period to try and get some points, and then they're just doing another big block again. So we'll probably do something similar, to be fair. But yeah, I suppose it's really exciting that like I was saying before, getting the fire back after world champs, getting second place, like based off of my training and what, like similar to you as well, working full-time jobs. Like I can't train much more. The max I can get in is like 14 hours a week. So the scope, you're seeing some of these guys doing double that. So the scope that we've got to improve.
I did 5 hours last week.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Just with the work.
Just busy. That side of it's getting busier and busier. So you don't want to take the foot off the pedal that way, because they're both family businesses. You know what I mean? If the work's coming in, you feel like you have to push on. Like you could turn a lot of this down, but it's just in the nature to say take everything on. You know what I mean? And say, which again we might look back in 10 years' time and say we should have probably taken a backward step and concentrated more on that.
See how we do, but
at the end of the day, it's just as a hobby for us, and that's probably why we enjoy it so much. I think if it was a full-time job, it would be completely different. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I think you would look at it. It would just get into a wee bit of a routine, wouldn't it? And you would sicken yourself if you got up in the morning and all you had to do was train, and then it all revolved around that.
When you earn your living off of just purely sponsors and having to like produce results, it just completely changes the whole dynamic of what you're doing. Whereas we're just doing this for fun. If we place 50th in a race, then you move on. You go back to work on the Monday. So,
but that might in the hyrox scene at the minute. Okay, it is moving on. There's a lot of sponsors coming in, more money, more boys coming in. You might see that over the next year or two, that boys like us kind of get flushed out. You know what I mean? And the boys that are taking it very serious come on board and push us, which probably will happen. You know what I mean?
For sure.
All sports are getting, no matter what sport you're in, everyone's world records are getting broke all over the place. So sport is getting better and better. So you're going to probably see that with hyrox. So we might need to, over the next few years, take a wee bit more of an approach to it and try and focus a bit more on it. But at the minute we're doing what we can, and it seems to be working. You know what I mean? If we don't really have any major goals to say that we're going to win the elite doubles next year or anything like that, it's probably just we've kind of got our sights on maybe getting an invite to a couple of majors next season, see what we can do from there. It's quite good that they've put in this challenger thing as well, which is going to be, the race is going to be set up at the hyrox event's going to be there, and then there's going to have the elite major there, and the course is going to be completely separate from the normal event, but it's going to be there. So the Elite 15 will race, and there'll also be a 15 under that, a challenger event they call that. So if you win that race, you get automatically invited to the Elite 15 for the next one. So that's going to benefit a lot of boys, to be fair. And if you're top 30, you get an invite to race on the major track, which will be a good spectacle, I think. So there's going to be a lot of boys get a good opportunity with that there, especially in the solo, I think, as well, isn't it? The boys have been right on the cusp of it, and then
it makes the sport really exciting, especially to watch. Even from our point of view, you know, if we're not in it, it's pretty cool to see all these boys that are up and coming and getting into the challenger, and then potentially getting into the elites. And it'll be because the way they've changed the setup of races, that basically everyone has to race a lot during the season. It just makes it's going to change all the time. I would say the majors will not be the same.
Nah.
You know, every major will have different people in it.
They'll have different people, and I think that track that they've set up for the majors, was it 4 laps or 5 laps? I think it was it 5 to start?
5 laps, yeah.
But that is a seriously hard course to race on, because you're turning so many corners. Like the amount of blisters and stuff you can get from it's so hard on you. So it's going to be standardised, and it's going to be the exact same. So hyrox say every race, which is good. You know what I mean? It gives them a marker to see where they're at, but it's a very, very hard course to race on, isn't it? Compared to your London XL, which is one big lap. This has got 4 and 5 laps. So
the amount of boys at Hamburg that didn't count their laps right. It's like 5 laps when you're full intensity is hard to count. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true. So.
It does. It can take a bit of strain on you during the race, even just the side of it, thinking about it, isn't it?
Oh, we never talked about your solo at Worlds.
Well, no worry about it. I know. Seriously, probably the best hyrox shape I've ever been in for that there, and just just went out like an absolute steam train, didn't it?
You had a bit of adrenaline pumping through the veins in that race, didn't you?
And the worst of it was, actually, I was holding myself back the first few runs as well, so that just shows you. But there was a few other elite boys in that race, and what did I put into them? Maybe about 20, 30 seconds coming in.
You were like close to a minute ahead of them come the sled push.
Coming into the sled push alone, but it just, I started far too hot, and you think, I think I've done 33 races maybe in my lifetime, and you think you would learn, but you just don't. See when adrenaline's there on race day, it's crazy what it can do. You know what I mean? And when you feel like you just know your limits, which leads on to what we're going to be doing today, and doing a bit of lactate threshold testing. So that's going to let us, for the next training block building, it's going to give us our numbers to see exactly what we can do.
If you want to see us do some more YouTube videos, then just put a comment on what you think you want to see. You know, we're open to suggestions.
We'll probably do anything.
We do some crazy stuff, but we just don't film it. Like when we look back at what we did, we were like, we should have filmed all this, because we do some mad stuff. But yeah, we'll cut to that now. Sweet. 17 minutes.